I want you to think back to the first time you opened Minecraft. You didn't read a tutorial. There wasn't a quest marker telling you where to go. No NPC handing you a sword and saying, hey, go kill 10 wolves. You just spawned in the middle of nowhere with nothing. And somehow you figured it out. You punched a tree, which if you think about it, is an absolutely unhinged thing to do. And something in your brain just clicked. And for that moment, without anyone telling you, you started learning things, real things. Things that schools spend years trying to teach you, and you had no idea it was happening. So today, I want to talk about what Minecraft actually taught us. Not the stuff people joke about, like learning not to dig straight down so you don't fall into a cave full of lava. I mean the proper deep stuff. The stuff that quietly shaped how an entire generation thinks, works, and sees the world. Because here's the thing, Minecraft came out in 2011, and a lot of the kids who were playing it at that time are now in their 20s, maybe even 30s in some cases. They're working jobs, running businesses, going to university. A lot of the skills they have, they can't quite explain where they came from. I'd argue that a large chunk of it came from a blocky, ugly little game that had basically no plot and no instructions. And I'll get to one thing in particular, something I think nobody really talks about towards the end, but it's the one that I think hits the hardest, and it's not what you'd expect. Let's start with the obvious one that nobody calls obvious: resource management. When you first start a Minecraft world, you have nothing, and night is coming in about 10 minutes? So immediately your brain kicks into a mode that most adults struggle to get into. You start prioritizing. You go, okay, wood first, then stone. I need a crafting table. I need tools. I need food. I'll deal with the pretty house later. That's budgeting. That's project management. That's triage. And you were doing it at age 9 without even calling it any of those things. Meanwhile, people pay thousands of pounds for courses that basically teach you the same thing. Turns out all you needed was just a creeper and a deadline. And the beautiful thing about Minecraft is it never told you this was the right way to do it. It just let you die if you didn't. You got eaten by a zombie on night 1. You lost your stuff. You went, okay, maybe I should have built a shelter first. That's consequence-based learning. That's trial and error. And it's one of the most effective ways humans learn anything. Then there's the creativity side of it. And I don't just mean, oh, people build cool things. I mean, Minecraft rewired how a generation of kids approach problems. There's a concept in design called constrained creativity. The idea that having limits actually makes you more creative, not less. Because when you have infinite options, you freeze. When you've got a specific set of tools and materials, your brain gets to work. Minecraft is entirely built on that. You've got blocks. That's it. Every single thing in that game is made of blocks. And yet people build the Notre Dame, they build working computers, they build entire functioning cities. Not because the game gave them the tools to, but because the limitations forced them to figure it out. That's a skill that transfers directly into real life. Engineers do this, architects do this, artists do this. You work with what you've got and you find a way. And if you were the kind of kid who spent 40 hours building a massive mansion before actually putting a door on it, you might be an architect now. Or maybe you just have the same problem with finishing things. No judgment. Now, multiplayer Minecraft, because this is where it gets interesting. If you ever played on a shared server with your friends, and I mean a proper survival server, not creative mode, you very quickly had to learn how to divide labour. Somebody mines, somebody builds a farm, somebody builds the house, somebody starts working on tools, starts getting weapons to defend ourselves through the night. And all of that has to happen organically, without anyone appointing a boss, without a job title, without HR. That's teamwork in its purest form. And it's harder than it sounds, because inevitably somebody's going to steal your diamonds, and you're going to have a very serious conversation about trust and accountability. But genuinely, learning to collaborate on a project, to communicate what you need, to compromise on decisions, that's the stuff workplaces are built on. And a lot of us were doing it from age 10, on a dodgy server that lagged every time somebody lit a furnace. Okay, so this is the one I teased at the start, the one I don't think gets talked about enough. Minecraft taught an entire generation how to be alone. Think about single-player Minecraft. There's no story, no companions, nobody to talk to. It's just you, the world, and the sound of the wind, and of course the occasional cow mooing in the background. And you could spend hours in that, days, just existing in a space, building things, exploring, with no destination and no reward except the thing you made at the end of it. It's an extraordinarily rare skill in the modern world, the ability to just sit with yourself, to be comfortable in silence, to be productive and creative without external validation or stimulation. That's something therapists and philosophers talk about as a cornerstone of mental health, and Minecraft just handed it to kids, for free, by accident. We grew up in a world that was rapidly becoming addicted to noise, notifications, social media, constant input, and yet a huge chunk of that generation spent formative hours in a quiet, blocky world, building things nobody would ever see, just because it felt good to make something. I think that matters more than we give it credit for. So yeah, Minecraft, a game with no plot, no tutorial, no end goal, accidentally turned out to be one of the most quietly educational things a generation of kids has ever touched. And the best part? Nobody planned it. Notch didn't sit down and think, I'm going to teach children resource management and emotional resilience. He just made a game where you punch trees, and somehow that was enough. If you grew up playing Minecraft, I'm genuinely curious. Drop in the comments what the game was like for you. Was it a solo thing? Was it a mates on a server kind of thing? Did you build a giant elaborate structure, or did you just dig a hole and call it home? Because honestly, I think what people built in Minecraft says a lot about who they were at the time. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely day.